don't really know the purpose of this either. I guess it scouts both the gold Expos. It scouts only his own. And here comes a Reaper trying to take the tower. So that's it's interesting. And we see this nice little ball. I think he lost his window of attack because the Terran player really didn't have all that much. And now he's going to start spitting out a lot of Vikings. It's all he's building out of his reactors now. Just mass Viking, look at this. He's supply blocked again, so this Terran player has not been on top of his supply at all. Although he is still ahead of the Protoss player in supply. That being said, he is heavy on Marauders, which do not do much against the Zealots. They can kite them, and obviously they have slow. But after the patch, Zealots charge does in fact give them the ability to get one free hit each time the charge ability proxies. The Protoss player did get armor. He's got armor 2, so his Colossus will last a long time against the Viking fire, and the Zealots will get a lot more time to cut up the enemy bio ball before they are killed. And yeah, no, really in this unit composition, armor was the better choice over weapons. And especially if he starts to get blink, I really want to see him get blink. There's no reason not to get it. And he's going for some Immortals too, instead of getting more Colossus, and I strongly agree with that. And here comes the DTs. Good choice. But he's got to get in there before those missile turrets finish. Does he get... and now that missile turret's up, and the PF is going to take care of that DT. Yeah, down goes the DT. Terrible, terrible, terrible. That could have been dealt with. That's too bad. Scanning to kill that DT, so that DT paid for itself just by wasting a scan, because that is a lot of minerals for the Terran player that could have been muled. I'm going to take a drink here for a second, guys. I hope nothing exciting happens. So Kingdime at 190 supply, the Terran player at 196. This DT getting in here, that missile turret detecting it. DTs are not going to work at that location or this location now that missile turrets are up. It's just bad luck that that didn't work. This factory, well placed, scouting this army. And like I said, I wish he had blink, because he really could have used it there. Chase down that factory and rid the problem of that. And now he's getting blink because he realizes he needs it. And I think we're going to see a big engagement here. Now there are so many Vikings. The great thing about that is once those Vikings have killed the 2 Colossus in this ball, they're pretty much useless. They're going to have to land, and they're really not going to do any damage to the Zealots. The Zealots are going to tear those apart. So unless he wants them to be useless, they're going to have to land, and he's going to lose them all. And then the Protoss player can really start to pump Vikings again, or Colossus again. Now he's got all these idle workers, the Protoss player does, and there he goes. He's going to transfer those. He's really trying to clear a path, clear an opening, so he can engage the Terran army in the position he wants. Great play by the Terran army, trying to split up his army, but he's going to lose his Colossus before he can even engage the bio ball, which is terrible, terrible, terrible. Now he needs to engage. His Zealots are in the wrong place. They can't even get to the Terran army, but good force fields cutting off most of the Terran army. The Zealots do now manage to get in there. DT's in the mix. The Vikings are landing, trying to do as much damage as they can, but like I said, the Zealots rip them apart. Immortals blasting them away too, and fantastic unit comp from the Protoss player with great grades, both players with really high grades. Those force fields are really what won that battle, saving him after losing both those Colossus. Now, he lost all his Vikings, so like I said, now the Protoss player can really start to pump Colossus again, forcing the Terran player to spend a lot of money on Vikings once again. This is going to be a PF, so hopefully he can engage this army and defeat the PF before it's finished, but it doesn't look like he can. Hopefully he can snipe some of those workers. Yeah, so the Zealots are going to take out those workers, canceling the PF and trying to fly away this command center, but that's not going to work out for him. And that building totally just landed on that Immortal. I would have liked to see them blow up, because that would have made my day. I like to see bad things happen to good people. I mean, I didn't say that just now. We'll pretend I'm a nice man. Okay, so His Protoss player keeping on top of his macro, supplying himself with production, so very good, keeping on top of, you know, like just everything. This Protoss player's play is very strong, very solid. If you are having trouble against Terran, this is a good player to watch because he has got a very solid build. I like the 2-gate robo into expand. A lot of players go 2-gate robo and then they try early aggression with either Immortals or Colossus. But he did scout the expand from the Terran player, and that gave him the thumbs up to take his own expansion. And then after that, it was just good unit composition. Now, the Protoss player is sitting on a lot of Chrono, which, you know, that's expected because he's got a lot of Nexuses, but they are all full. And he is using it, so I can't say that he's not using it. Although he could be chronoing that Robo Bay, and I mean, I don't know. That's all I can say is he's sitting on a lot of Chrono, and he could be using that on something, I suppose. Maybe get a second forge and really pump out these shield upgrades now. I mean, he's got the money for it, the minerals at least. But yeah, I like that he got the DT shrine. Those DTs helped in that last fight. Even if they can be seen, if they can get in close, which they will because you've got a lot of zealots to back them up and take fodder. Those DTs do a lot of damage with each swing. Now this army for the Terran player was re-macroed up, and it is a massive. And it pretty much straight up hard counters these stalkers, and there are ghosts in the army for EMP, 2 at the front. The Protoss player needs to split up his army or the whole thing is going to get EMP'd. Let's take a look here. 2 EMPs went off, and we see lost shields on so many units in this Protoss army. So that's 80 damage to every stalker it hit, and that is 50 damage to every zealot it hit. It's 100 damage to every immortal it hit, and it hit 2 of those immortals. So like I said, that did almost 1,000 damage, those 2 EMPs. Now this army has to engage the Terran Bio Ball without shields, and those High Templar, I think, got hit by the Terran EMPs, and the Protoss army just instantly becomes vaporized. Nothing they can do. And wouldn't it be great if this Nexus was a planetary fortress? But a Protoss can dream. And just look how fast that army tears up the Protoss structures. I think at this point, I don't even know what to say at this point. Charge lots are the right choice here. No EMP for the Terran player because he's used it already. The Colossus is going to rip up the ground army as the Zealots take fire. There are 2 Templar here trying to save up for Storm. They're just going to run into the army and die, though. A little bit of miscontrol from the Protoss player. The Colossus, though, are ripping up a lot of this Marine Marauder. And, you know, he is losing most of his units. He's losing some tech structures here and some pylons and some buildings. But he is on 4 bases, so hopefully he can reproduce this quickly enough and come back in here and defend. However, the Terran player is streaming in reinforcements, making sure he snipes all those pylons. The Protoss player is going to become supply blocked if he's not dropping pylons elsewhere. And I really can't say that I know if the Protoss can come back from this. He's got DTs here, walking them right into his scan, but the scan finishes. I don't think there's EMP to reveal the cloaked DTs. Gotta love EMP against Protoss, eh? I would bitch some more, but, you know, all it is bitching, and I don't want to be a bitch. And he's gonna take out this probe line, finally running that probe line. The Protoss player needs something to deal with this army, and the Terran player is now taking that gold, dropping a whole bunch of mules. This command center is going to pay for itself almost immediately. He's not morphing it into a orbital command or a planetary fortress, so I'm not sure what he's planning to do with that. The sensor tower, I'm not sure was a good choice. Wow, GG from the Protoss player. I don't think he needed to GG, I really don't. Maybe. The Terran player wasn't really producing much more. He's got this, but I really think the Protoss player could have picked this apart. What the... you know what? I really got to talk about EMP. I'm having trouble understanding why it's balanced. It seems to just be the do-all against Protoss, but if you guys don't agree, you let me know, but I'm really having trouble believing it's balanced. And this is a good demonstration of why. I mean, it does everything. It can strip Chrono from a Nexus. It takes the shields off Protoss, and I mean the fact that Protoss units have extra health is the only thing that justifies why they're more expensive and take longer to build than any other units in the game. And EMP does so much damage, and it does it instantly. It's not like a storm where you can walk out of it, and it's really frustrating as a Protoss player. I really feel that Kingdime out-macroed and outplayed his opponent in this game. And I don't feel that the Terran player should have been able to win simply by massing Marauders and EMPing the army. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So guys, I'm SCINC. You're watching StarCraft Inc. Comments in the section below to tell me what you think about EMP. But a little balanced discussion. You know, I'm not against the fact that it could be balanced. Maybe it is. But tell me why you think it's balanced if you think it's balanced. And if you're a Terran player, obviously you like it, and I understand that. And I'm a Protoss player, and I seem to be the victim of EMP, so obviously I could be a little biased. So let me know, okay? Guys, see you later.